Skeptical media elites identify the flaws in Kamala Harris's VP pick. Even the elites are questioning this pick. This guy is a far leftist. No matter how bad the media try to paint him as this happy-go-lucky milquetoast white man with gray hair, he is a leftist to the core. All you have to do is look at Minnesota and his policies and putting tampons in the boys' restroom, which is just crazy. Like, it's madness, some of the stuff that he lies about his valor. What else would this man lie about if he lies about his valor, you know? So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to show some clips. But before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button. Share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon, and that's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. Also, check me out on X. Follow me on X, where I put out tons of news throughout the day as well. All right, so let's talk about this news. Now, this comes from Breitbart News from Wendell Husibo. And he reports that the elites in the establishment media did not appear enthused about Vice President Kamala Harris's selection of radical left Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. The selection of Walz would at first appear to excite Harris's Democrat allies in the media, but that was not the general mood in the days following Harris's highly anticipated announcement. Quote, "People have looked at him as the safe pick. I would disagree," Joe Scarborough of MSNBC Morning Joe said. "This opens up a number of issues for the Democratic ticket to now defend." And wow, Scarborough's being honest for once. Media elites wrote headlines with negative overtones about Walz's pick throughout the week, indicating that some Democrat insiders thought it was a mistake, a blunder, a self-inflicted error to choose a radical leftist from Minnesota. Again, you can't hide his record. But here are some of the headlines. Walz's military record under scrutiny as Vance GOP questioned his service, the Associated Press Meg Kennard reported. With Walz, Harris passes on a chance to redefine herself, the New York Times' Nate Cohn wrote. What they mean by that is, she's trying to move herself towards the middle to appeal to the average American, but with the pick of Walz, that doesn't happen. NBC News' Stephen Kornacki titled a story, "Tim Walz's election results don't show a clear blue-collar boost," providing data analysis of Walz's shortcomings as a running mate. So that the main thing is they try to appeal to the left, at the same time try to appeal to the regular average blue-collar working American, and it's not working. They don't believe it. Just because this man hunts, they try to say, "Oh, he's an average American," but again, all you have to do is look at the policies, and most Americans are smart enough to do their own research and find out that this guy is not this middle ground average American Joe. The Wall Street Journal's Tarini Party and Sabrina Siddiqui wrote the headline, "How Shapiro Lost Out to Walz in the Race to be Harris's VP pick." And then we got Camilla HQ. They posted this on Tim Walz. Governor Tim Walz, he said, "I spent 25 years in the Army." Let's play this clip. We probably already seen this clip, but I'm gonna play it again. Here we go.
Hope woke up like many of you did 5 weeks ago and said, "Dad, you're the only person I know who's in elected office. You need to stop what's happening with this." I'll take my kick in the butt for the NRA. I spent 25 years in the Army, and I hunt. And I gave the money back, and I'll tell you what I have been.
Okay, first off, he spent 24 years, so that's the first lie there.
I've been voting for common sense legislation that protects the Second Amendment, but we can do background checks. We can do CDC research. We can make sure we don't have...
We already have background checks, and background checks wouldn't have stopped any of the mass shooters from doing what they did. So we already have federal background checks. I mean, this guy is disgusting, man.
Reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that
he want to get rid of reciprocal carry, which I'm all for. If one state said, well, I'm in Texas, so we don't need a concealed weapons license, but for states that do need that, you don't trust another state to say that this person's okay to have have a concealed weapons license. You can't carry that weapon in another state. That's just ridiculous. I made the statement before, and I'll make it again. This is the United States of America. So if you got your license in one state to carry a concealed weapon, you should be able to carry it in another state.
I carried in war is the only place where those weapons are at.
And there's the other lie there. He said he carried it in war. What war did he carry a weapon in? He never went to the desert. He never went to Iraq. He never went to Afghanistan where he carried a weapon. So this man is a liar out the gate, and they can't. And the media can't lie about that. I mean, they can't cover for that. But the media elites pointed out subtle but critical points. Waltz is from a solidly blue state with a far left record as governor, two political bases that Harris already features as the West Coast radical from California. Waltz did not perform better among rural voters in Minnesota than President Joe Biden in 2020, underscoring Waltz's lack of strength among the all-important demographic that also exists in Wisconsin and Michigan. Harris, moreover, chose Waltz over Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, a pro-Israel Democrat who hails from an all-important swing state, a battleground many Republicans feared could slip from their grasp with Shapiro on the ticket. Political convention suggests that Shapiro, as the governor of Pennsylvania, would dramatically help Harris win the Keystone State, and that's true. But that assumption is reportedly wrong, according to Harris campaign polling. Quote, "It's not that I think Waltz is a bad pick. It's that there was a really good pick available and that they were afraid of the left flank, afraid of ruining the mojo, the bulwarks Sarah Longwell whined." And I agree. I think Shapiro would have definitely helped her, but they probably would have lost a lot of their base as well. So I could kind of understand why they didn't pick Shapiro, but I do not understand why they will pick Waltz. Underscoring the media's skepticism is another point. Anonymous Harris campaign staffers appeared to work overtime last week to redefine their candidate by allegedly retracting 5 of Harris's most radical policies. You can't change these things. They're trying to cape for her. But the public relations battle appeared undone with the selection of Waltz, a Democrat governor with a record that mirrors Harris's. Quote, "She is in a toss-up environment, and every inch counts," New York Magazine Jonathan Chair said. Does Waltz help her gain those inches? I don't believe it does, and I don't believe it does either. The most serious line of attack against Waltz opened up on Wednesday. Accusations of stolen valor plagued Waltz's first week as Harris's running mate after a video surfaced of him misrepresenting his military career by falsely claiming he served in war. I just played that clip. The Harris campaign escalated the stolen valor scandal on Thursday by scrubbing its reference to Waltz's rank. Quote, "Waltz did make a comment speaking to a group. He's done it a couple of times where he has used language that suggests that he carried weapons in a fighting situation," CNN correspondent Tom Foreman said, fact-checking Waltz's claim. Quote, "There is a difference between being in a combat area, being involved in a time of war, and actually being in a position where people are shooting at you," Foreman explained. And I totally agree. Let's just play this clip here.
Welcome back. While Kamala Harris is on a multi-state battleground swing, in just a few hours, Donald Trump says he will be holding a press conference in Mar-a-Lago. Now, we haven't seen much of the former president this week, and he has one rally on his schedule. That is tomorrow in Montana. But his running mate has been out and about, and he's sharpening attacks on Vice President Harris and her new running mate, Tim Walz, especially over his 24-year career in the Army National Guard.
When Tim Walz was asked by his country to go to Iraq, you know what he did? He dropped out of the Army and allowed his unit to go without him. He said we shouldn't allow weapons that I used in war to be on America's streets. Well, I wonder, Tim Walz, when were you ever in war?
Right.
What was this weapon that you carried into war, given that you abandoned your unit right before they went to Iraq, and he has not spent a day in a combat zone?
Facts.
Now, Vance is a Marine veteran who served as a combat correspondent in Iraq. His accusation that Walz is not telling the truth is based in part on this clip posted by the Harris campaign of Walz advocating for gun control.
We can make sure we don't have reciprocal carry among states, and we can make sure that those weapons of war that I carried in war is the only
to war. A National Guard spokesman says Walz deployed to Italy in 2003, where he was part of a security mission in support of the Afghanistan war, but he never served in Afghanistan.
Right.
In a statement, the campaign said, quote, in his 24 years of service, the governor carried, fired, and trained others to use weapons of war innumerable times. Governor Walz would never insult or undermine any American's service to this country. In fact, he thanks Senator Vance for putting his life on the line for our country. It's the American way. Now, we also heard Vance accuse Walz of ducking service to Iraq when he left the National Guard in 2005 to run for Congress.
See, we got right here 24 years service in the Army National Guard. We saw in that clip that he said he was in there for 25 years. I mean, this guy is a liar. Why would anybody believe anything that he says? I'm not going to play the entire clip because this is a longer clip than I would like to play right now at this moment. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave your comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe. And check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for news. Until next time. Peace.